really know you.
All right.
But this is what I do know, so tell me if this is correct. You are currently the Knox County Chair.
Yes.
Of the Republican Party, and you are Knox County Clerk.
That's correct.
And so how long have you been doing that?
I've been clerk for going on 7 years now. I've been the county chairman for about 3.
Okay.
Over 3 now.
So you are going to be termed out.
I am.
Pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and termed out at the same time as the Secretary of State election.
That's correct.
And so you are planning on running, or you just are in?
I filed my exploratory paperwork.
Okay.
I can't officially become a candidate until I pay my filing fee with the state party.
Okay.
And I'll have till mid-May, but I'd rather get it out of the way sooner than later, so after the first of the year.
Yeah. Okay, so Secretary of State, which is currently held by Diego Morales, which is another Republican.
Yes.
And this is one of those quirky positions in politics that actually gets decided not in a primary, but at state convention.
That's correct.
So do you want to explain a little bit how the state convention process works?
All right, so state convention process is a nominating process held by the Republican Party. Not only will they decide next year the Secretary of State, but also the state treasurer and the state comptroller. In the presidential election cycle, the nominee for lieutenant governor and attorney general is chosen in those years. Roughly 1,800 delegates across the state. That number is based upon the number of votes for the Republican candidate for Secretary of State in the previous election. And each county gets roughly 1 delegate for every roughly 700 votes cast for the Secretary of State candidate.
Okay, all right. And so what's important about the Secretary of State's position at a local level?
Well, on a local level, the biggest impact it actually has, as far as, it's supposed to be the top election administrator in the state. We rely on them. We're supposed to rely on them for passing good legislation or having good legislation passed. Promoting what we want, what we need. It's sometimes difficult. Our legislators, they're the state reps. They're on the ballot every 2 years, so they're not even able to be poll workers. So, sometimes we have to contend with laws being passed that may not be the greatest idea on the administrative level there. But the Secretary of State's office, another little quirky thing with it is a lot of things are based on the number of votes cast for that candidate as well. If you're an independent candidate, or if you're wanting to run as a, let's say with the independent candidate, it's based on like your size of your district. You have to get the number of signatures on a petition equal to 2% of the total votes cast for Secretary of State in that district. So if you're running for a city council and it's just one little district, 2% of that, or if it's a county-wide, it's a larger number that way.
And so that's only for independents or something like a Libertarian Party or something like
Correct.
that? Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, too, doesn't it affect placements on ballots for like whether Democrats or Republicans?
Yes, it does. You have Republicans first there as well. And the biggest thing is poll inspectors on election days. Whichever candidate receives the most votes in your county, well, then that party has the inspector position. So, when I'm nominated next May, I plan on spending a lot of time up in Lake County and other traditionally blue counties to help turn that vote. So if they can get Republicans in as inspectors, they're going to see a massive shift in the election integrity up there.
Okay. So what did you do before you were clerk of Knox County?
I've been a licensed private investigator for over 25 years.
Okay.
I'm still licensed and insured in Indiana and Illinois, mostly workers' comp surveillance work.
Okay.
Learned how to hide in plain sight, which is not always easy. And that's also proven to be somewhat of a barrier for me because I come to these big rooms, big events. I just want to put my back against the wall.
You're like
I want to survey the room and see what's going on. So, that's a little difficult for me, but I've also done long-term undercover drug detection surveillances, like a factory or warehouse setting that they believe they have a problem with drug usage in there or even dealing in drugs. And I'd get hired in like anybody else and just work with them for weeks, months on end and document everything I can. The key to that kind of work is you go in there, you keep your nose clean for a couple, 2-3 weeks, and you just start acting like the biggest idiot you can without getting fired. That's how you actually get successful doing that.
Yeah. So Okay, that seems like a kind of a quirky little profession to get into. So
It
how
is.
did you? Okay, so I assume you're a high school graduate at least, and then
And
what
then I went
about
to college,
college?
went
Okay.
to Vincent's University.
Okay.
It took me a while to decide what I wanted to be when I grew up. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I had a couple different majors. I mean, I initially got accepted in the pre-med program at IU.
Okay.
My father's a physician.
Okay.
Pun intended, I had no patience for it because my dad was one of the old school doctors. Our phone number was still in the phone book, and you get calls all hours of the night, and it just didn't really appeal to me. And then I'm a student of history, I love history, and archaeology as well.
Okay.
And I was going to go into that, and then I realized, well, I'm not going to be able to dig in the dirt all day. I'm going to have to teach classes, and that didn't really appeal to me. And I ended up going to a small college at Central Kansas, McPherson College in McPherson, Kansas, where they offered a degree in antique auto restoration, a 2-year program.
Oh, fun.
And I went through that program there. So I'm also a gearhead.
Okay. That's kind of cool. So that's kind of a fun little journey, like off-roading.
I've had a lot of good experiences. I'm kind of well-rounded, kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. When I got back from McPherson College with the antique auto restoration, I started dating a girl whose daddy owned an upholstery shop. And I actually started working there 30-some years ago, and I still do upholstery work even today.
Nice.
My regional McDonald's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Steak and Shakes, I do all their work. I do cars, boats, trucks, headliners, antique furniture.
Nice.
You name it.
And that's a skill that's really, it's hard to find people that do that
really
anymore.
Is. All the people that I worked with, 20, 30 years ago, they've all kind of died off by now. But I'm not the type to sit around.
Yeah.
I got to keep busy. And I also have 5 kids. So they're expensive critters.
Okay.
I came close to procreating myself into poverty. So I gotta keep on working.
Yeah. So, are you married?
I am married. Currently married. Been married over 21 years. I have 5 kids. And like I said earlier, I don't like spending money, especially taxpayer money. And even before I became county clerk, I've been appointed to a couple boards. I was appointed to the Knox County Public Defender Board back in 2017. And at that time, it was over 10% of our county budget that we were on a billable hour system. Basically, the attorneys were writing their own checks, and that was unsustainable.
Right.
So when I got appointed to that board, the first thing we did was we implemented a flat rate contract system with our local attorneys. They didn't like it much, but I didn't really care. Yeah. And we went from spending about $1.3 million a year down to $600,000. Oh
wow.
Net.
Yeah.
So in my time on that board, I've saved Knox County about $4 million. You add that up each year.
That's nice.
If I can save $4 million in Knox County, I'm going to take that to the State House with me as well, because everybody else has to do with less.
Right.
Our elected officials should too, and I think I can still do an effective job with it as it.
Okay, so we are going to be cooking today. Tell me what it is that we're going to be making.
So we're going to be making my family's apple pie recipe.
Okay, awesome. So
crust and all. We're not buying a crust.
All right, all right.
I edited my recipe a little bit.
Okay.
Family tradition, instead of having oleo or butter, it says lard.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So,
okay.
And then, whatever crust remnants we have is going to be a surprise for you. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, the products of the Depression. I got to use for the leftover crust pieces that we cut off from around the pie pan.
Okay, all right, good deal. See, those usually just go around, because I'm a from-scratch pie maker too, because it's not really pie if it's a store-bought crust.
So we'll take whatever crust is left over, we'll roll it out again, nice and flat. We'll butter it up.
Okay.
And then 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Sprinkle it on there, roll it up and cut it up, and it's like really cheap and easy cinnamon rolls that are a little bit crispy and crunchy.
Okay, awesome. Well, great. All right, well, we're going to go to the kitchen and get cooking. Okay, so Dave, tell me what it is that we're cooking here.
So we're going to do my great-grandmother's recipe for apple pie.
All right, awesome. So how often do you make this at home?
Not very often at all.
Okay.
I'm a little busy right now, but I did make sure that my grandmother taught me how to do that a while back.
That's nice. Yeah. Okay, so how are we going to start?
So we're going to start just mixing up the mixings for the crust itself. I don't buy store-bought crust. We make everything from scratch.
I hear you.
All right. So I don't have it memorized.
Okay. You know what? This part I can memorize because we do the same crust, so I can tell you the crust part.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll start out with 2 cups of flour.
Okay. Well, this is okay for your crust. Your crust is down here.
Oh,
So you're starting with 4 cups
4
of
cups,
flour.
that's
4
right.
cups
Sorry.
of flour. So you guys, this is like the easiest since we are sharing the same pie crust recipe. This is like the easiest pie crust recipe that you can use. It has never failed on me. Has it ever failed on you, Dave?
Not that I would admit.
Okay. And so what are you using for your?
Well, this is my great-grandmother's sifter here. 4
Okay.
generations have used the sifter here.
Okay,
so
nice.
I'll set that there.
Looks like it's been well loved.
2 tablespoons of salt. Which
Okay, and you've got 2 tablespoons of salt and a tablespoon of sugar
in
already
here
in there.
already.
Yep.
All right. And then we'll just
Hit that little thing, yeah. The Himalayan salt's wanting to stick. There we go.
And then we just stick that all together.
All right. See that works so much better than the new ones that you can buy.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, it's hard to find a 5-cup sifter anymore.
Yeah.
This has been well used, well loved. It's not too rusty. There may be a little rust on there, but we'll say that's a booster for your tetanus regimen.
Yeah.
Okay? If you take it internally, you don't have to get more shots.
That's true. Okay. I love that you actually brought that with you. So, okay, now you're going to need 1 3/4 cup of lard, Crisco. Originally, you had said oleo,
Yeah.
and then butter Crisco. So typically, I just use regular Crisco, but I do think I'm going to switch to lard because we fry in lard.
Okay.
Okay, so I love these scoops. You can buy these scoops. They are 1/2 cup scoops. They're perfect for doing peanut butter, Crisco, anything, mayo, anything like that. So we're going to put 3 1/2, and I just eyeball that half because there we go.
Is that sturdy enough for ice cream too?
As long as ice cream's not too hard, because if your freezer's too hard, you gotta
Snap them
have a chisel to get the ice cream out. Okay.
All right, so then we need 1 egg.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do first?
Okay.
It's been a while since Dave's made this, so I'm gonna help him. So since I make pie crust almost every week, I like to use these little tools, and actually Cuisinart's the best one that I have found to do this whole thing. So we're gonna go like this.
Does that
and
tool
just make
actually
it
have a
crumble.
name that you're using there?
Pastry blender.
Okay.
So, probably your great-grandmother Ruth, she probably used 2 knives or 2 forks or a knife and a fork to do this.
I think I recall seeing something like that. For time being, growing up, my parents had inherited a lot of the older utensils. I mean, more well used, and we had them hanging up on the wall in the kitchen. And that may have been one of the unidentified tools that I wasn't familiar with.
Was that hanging on the wall of
Not
the
that
kitchen?
one. I've got another one.
Actually...
We've got another little, like a little scale, had a brass faceplate.
Yeah.
And the family legend is that was used to weigh my mother when she was a newborn baby. They had her in a swaddling, type or whatever, and they weighed her on that to keep up on her weight.
Was she
a newborn?
Was she born at home or was she born?
She was born at home, Washington, Indiana.
Okay. Okay, so that's pretty good and crumbly. Okay, you guys, I told Dave he didn't have to wear gloves, but I wear gloves just because I'm used to it now. So he's wearing gloves, so I might need to send him home with a box of gloves if he really likes the gloves. We'll see. So,
the courthouse from the pandemic. So they hooked us up with PPE. So.
Okay, so now I think that the recipe calls for 1/2 cup of cold water, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And with this, I don't cook in this kitchen very often anymore, so I always have to tell myself that hot is hell and hell is south. So whenever I have it turned up, then I know that the water is cold. So we're on cold right now. Okay, there's our 1/2 cup. Then you need an egg, and then you need a tablespoon of vinegar. Okay, then you can just kind of stir that up. And pie is like my favorite thing to make. And I don't know, brownies and cookies are probably my favorite sweet. What's your favorite sweet?
I don't know.
Are you a sweet eater or are you more of a savory?
I eat what's in front of me.
Okay, so you're not picky?
No.
Or you're not really a foodie?
I am for certain things. My obsession is a hole-in-the-wall pizza joint in Speedway called Pasquale's. I'm a third-generation customer there.
Okay.
Before I had a gaggle of kids, I would actually drive up there. Joint in Speedway called Pasquale's. I'm a third-generation customer there.
Okay.
Before I had a gaggle of kids, I would actually drive up there, eat, turn around, and come back home.
Oh, wow.
And it's my unofficial mission in life is to have a Facebook memory of me eating there every day of the calendar.
Oh.
So.
Okay, so you gotta get up there 365 days. How many days?
You won't get Christmas, you won't get Thanksgiving.
Okay, all right.
It comes up on my memory feed once a week, at least once a week.
Okay,
so,
that's fine.
I live over 2 hours away, but they recognize my voice on the phone, and they greet me by name when I walk in.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Well, I guess for Christmas and those holidays, you can just pour that in.
Okay.
I guess Christmas and holidays, you could be standing outside just looking sad on those days.
Yeah. I'm afraid the days are numbered at this place. The building itself was purchased by the...
You care if I can dig
Yeah,
in?
go ahead.
Okay.
By the dentist next door, and they're utilizing the parking lot for the pizza joint as a parking lot for the dentist practice there.
Oh.
And I think they only have like 2 or 3 years left on their lease, so I'm really concerned that it's going bye-bye.
Okay, this feels a little wet to me, so let's sift in a little bit more if you want to do the sifter.
All right. How much more about a cup there, or a
yeah,
little less?
let's try that much, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, around here we always say that we cook by the fields because we don't have a dishwasher in the whole place, so we're dish conservatives too. So that's why whenever the staff help me in the back, they're like, "Are we doing this by the fields, or are we doing it by recipe?" And I'm like, "Well, we're kind of doing it by the fields."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's feeling better. Okay. Now, do you like rolling out? Because some people are intimidated.
I can roll out.
Perfect. Now,
when I was in practice, I prided myself in being able to do the crust with no rips or tears or anything. Roll it out nice and thin and just go. But like I said, I'm out of practice.
okay. So let's throw some flour out down here. And this you need to refrigerate is what?
Yep,
Grandma
overnight. Let it
Bruce.
set.
And typically I don't refrigerate mine, so this is new for me. So I, to pretend that we're a real cooking show, I do have.
Is that good, or is that too much of a
Nope,
mess?
I think you're good.
All right.
I'm gonna throw this one in the refrigerator.
All right.
Okay. And you brought your own rolling pin, which I love because that means that you're like a real pie baker.
All right, so I seem to recall I usually take about a third of it out for the top and do the rest for the bottom.
That
sound about right?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
So is apple pie your favorite pie then?
Actually, I love peach cobbler and peach pie the most.
Okay.
But I didn't know the availability of fresh.
Right. And fresh more than canned. Then, yeah.
But I'll, use what you got.
Now, I will tell you, I kind of didn't follow the recipe exactly that you gave me whenever I bought ingredients because I like to buy Indiana apples, Indiana raised apples, and I couldn't find any yet that had Granny Smith, any orchards that had Granny Smith.
You could have kept that a secret. I probably wouldn't know the difference.
Well, I just wanted to full disclosure. But it is a tart pie apple. Do you remember what it was? Andy's behind the camera, so he was with me when we went to Anderson Orchard. Have you ever been to Anderson Orchard by Mooresville, right? Or Martinsville? Mooresville?
Okay, no.
That is a great orchard. It's getting there. Let's see if we're there.
Getting
We're
close.
there.
A little bit more, I think, or?
I would just say equal out the thickness, and you're good.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you typically?
Well, what I typically do is I see how well it's going to peel off in one piece, and hope and pray that it sticks.
All right, let me show you kind of what I tried to roll it on. Got enough flour down there. Should be good.
Yeah, that's stuck pretty good. It's not stainless steel.
Yeah. Just unroll it. So, okay, Dave, what's the best book that you've ever read?
The best book that I've ever read?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I go through spurts what I like. I mean, kid growing up, my dad was a big Star Trek fan, so I had an interest in sci-fi. I read a lot of Isaac Asimov back in the day. It always fascinated me, even though it was sci-fi, it was plausible science fiction.
Yeah.
It was something that
it
seemed reasonable thinking,
Yeah.
you may progress to that level there. The website a lot. Sometimes it's easier to navigate than others. The other divisions, for the most part, are bureaucratic boilerplate. You have a lot of staff that will handle all the day-to-day stuff. But I'm always on the lookout for ways to improve things. I refuse to operate in an echo chamber whatsoever. And I also consider it a good day if I learn something new, especially with the elections. I really, really enjoy learning stuff. So I just feel like, my background as a licensed private investigator, it suits me well for all other divisions because, for the most part, all the other divisions are about consumer protection. And with me being a fraud investigator, this kind of goes hand in hand.
So, now, okay, so you're going to be running, or you are running in this, in a convention sort of thing.
Yes.
How does somebody get to be a convention delegate?
So you can sign up. You'll appear on the primary ballot if you sign up to be a convention delegate. You'll be able to start signing up for that as early as January 7th. And the last day to sign up will be February 6th. Depending on your county and the size of your county, delegates can be elected at large, or they can represent a district. So like your county, my county, will have less than 20 delegates, so everybody is voted on at large.
Right.
When I first became clerk and became politically involved, a lot of times we didn't have enough people sign up to appear on the ballot, so it wouldn't even be on the ballot. And then the county chair would have appointment power to fill those spots.
Yes.
But it's getting more and more popular, and depending on what your last name starts with gives you a little bit of advantage because it was the last thing on the ballot.
Right.
You got voter fatigue, and they'll come to that race and say, okay, you vote for up to 15 people, and they'll just hit the first 15. So if your last name is Allen, you're going to be elected every time.
Right.
But if it begins with a Z, you may be out of luck. That's another law that I want to change. We have to change voter registration to match ballot names, and a lot of the ladies that run for office, they'll put their maiden name in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem it creates is it doesn't match your ID. So I had candidates show up to vote in person early or wait till election day, and they don't come up on the poll books. Or on the poll book because their ID doesn't match.
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of an antiquated law. It goes back many years prior to the statewide voter registration system itself. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to be working on, having that changed as well, because it doesn't make any sense anymore to do it that way.
Right. Okay, that really has not taken that long to assemble this apple pie. I mean, whenever we think about how good it's going to taste, and it's made with Hoosier apples, and it's made with real homemade crust, and you're using Grandma Ruth's, great Grandma Ruth's recipe. I mean, it really is not taking very long.
And we
to
forgot to
assemble
mention
this.
the most important ingredient as well.
Love.
That's right.
Look at you doing that fancy work on the sides.
Well, just remember that my grandma rolling it under and
Yep.
keeping it kind of even with the outside of the pan.
Yep. Trying to keep everything inside and not boiling over in the oven.
Right. You gotta make it pretty and
Yeah.
delicious.
Make it not stink up the whole place, which I do often.
It happens.
It's because I overfill. You know, do you ever overfill your pie?
I overfill my plate when I eat it.
I can understand that too.
All right. So do you want to do fancy like little?
Yeah. Do you have a fancy way that you do it?
Just use your thumbs.
Yeah.
This.
So this is actually.
But I'm going to defer to you. on
Okay,
this.
so Sharon Kaler worked for us, was our first kitchen helper, and she was the one who taught me this.
I like that. It looks good and
Pretty simple.
yeah.
And then do you cut a design in the top to let the steam out?
I can. Sometimes my hand's not so steady. Usually just
Okay.
do, like 3-inch cuts, and if you want to get really fancy, do a couple
Yeah.
hash marks on
Yeah,
there.
I just do something simple like that too. And then I always put milk and sugar on top of mine. Do
Okay.
you do that?
I don't recall that happening, but
Okay.
you can.
Are you good if I
Yep,
grab
I'm
some?
good.
Okay. I was hoping you'd say that. That's why I poured this little thing of milk.
Well, I don't want you kicking me out here. I'll tell you no. So.
I don't know why people do this, but it does seem to add a little extra.
Does it help with the golden brown
I
appearance
think
as well?
it does, and then just having that little extra crunch on top with the melted
Mm-hmm.
sugar, I think. Okay. And then I've got just sugar. Okay, and we've got an oven preheated
Okay.
to 425. And great grandma Ruth said 15 minutes at that temperature.
15 minutes at that temperature.
And then we're gonna bump it down to 350 for, and I didn't have a time. Do you remember what the time was?
But I do have my phone. I call my mom.
Okay. Hey, phone a friend. Yeah, phone a
friend
mom.
this here. Absolutely.
I would say probably about 40 minutes, but we can check it.
Okay.
We'll call mom.
Okay. You can do that off camera.
Okay.
Action.
Okay, looks like it's ready. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty.
That looks like a professional pie right there.
So do you think great Grandma Ruth would be impressed?
I think so.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, thanks for cooking with me.
Hey, thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.